the quote we're using to run this whole chapter is judge each day by the harvest, not by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you sow. Judge each day by the seeds you sow, not the harvest you reap, right? Be in control, be in control, be intentional, be proactive, be intentional, be proactive, be intentional, be proactive, right? Run the day, don't let the day run you, right? Be your weatherman, carry your weather with you. Don't be at the mercy of the weather you meet. Carry your own weather with you. Be proactive, be intentional. Have a vision of what you want each day and go after that vision. I was kind of sharing during the week. I said, if you don't have a vision of heaven, whether that heaven be spiritual or temporal, and when I mean spiritual or temporal, I'm talking about spiritual is after now when we die. Temporal is in this life. There's a heaven in this life. There's a heaven in this life. There's a heaven after this life, right? Either of those heavens, you cannot enter into them except you have a vision for them. If you don't want, if you can't see heaven, you cannot have heaven. If you are not seeing heaven, you cannot have heaven, whether it be temporal or spiritual, right? You must have a vision of the heaven you are wanting, right? For you to enter into it, both in this life and the one to come. Nobody's going to get to heaven by mistake. Nobody's going to get to heaven by chance. Everybody that gets into the heaven because they choose to. They choose to. They choose to. You're not going to get to heaven by chance. You're only going to get to heaven by choice, right? Again, don't forget the Holy Book tells us that the way to heaven is a narrow road. It's not a broad road. It's a narrow road. That gate is a small gate. It's a narrow road. That means that not everything will go. So if there's a heaven you want to go to, not everything will go. You can't do what everybody does and get to heaven. You cannot be lackadaisical and get to heaven. You cannot be AK Sarah and get to heaven. You must have a vision of it and then know what it takes to get there. You know what you need to do and what you need not to do. You cannot be carefree and get there. You must hold yourself together. You must circumcise yourself. You must sanctify yourself, separate yourself for the purpose of the vision that you have. That's the only way you're going to get to heaven, whether in this life or in the one to come. To get to hell, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be intentional. Just be anyhow. Be looking for harvest here and there. You will get to hell. Because the way that leads to hell is very wide. Everything goes. Everything goes if you are going to hell. But not everything goes if you are going to heaven. Right? So when it comes to ruling your day, right? It's not about the harvest. It's about the seed you are sowing. It's about you being in charge. It's about you being proactive. Because don't forget, wherever you are today, you made an appointment to be there. It was because of the seed you sowed yesterday, right? That is why you are where you are today. The seed you are sowing today determines where you will be tomorrow. Nobody is where they are right now as I am speaking by chance. You made an appointment to be where you are right now because of the seeds you sowed yesterday. You are making an appointment as to where you will be tomorrow by the seeds you are sowing right now, right? So if you're going to have a good life in the workplace, you are going to then be making appointments every day as to where you want to be. That's the only way you're going to have a good life in the workplace, right? And I learned this the hard way. I like to say again, 2016, I got back here from working international, and it was a harsh, harsh environment, vicious environment that I came to. But I was carefree. I just thought it was life. When I worked overseas, it was like, oh, I'm away from home. I had all my guards on, right? I had a vision of the heaven that I wanted, and I entered into that heaven. When I came back, I thought I didn't have to do that. I threw all my caution away. I thought I was back home. I could be carefree. Wow. I learned the hard way, you know, people that are supposed to be my friends are the ones that were after my neck, right? So you cannot afford to throw your caution to the wind, irrespective of where you find yourself. There are evil men everywhere, even in the church, right? Even in the church, right? I used to, in my whole church, I used to, one of the times I got back also, and I was all out trying to help them build, trying to help them have a good study. I even used my money to print a study series. What did I get from that? People after my neck, even in the church. People who felt bad that I was the one doing things. People who felt I was trying to take control of something I used to lead. Not everyone has a vision of heaven, whether the vision here or there. People go to church for different reasons. Some people go to church because they have nothing else to do. They go to church because that's the only place they can go to. Not everybody goes to church wanting to go to heaven, whether it be that heaven here or the heaven to come. So you have to ask, don't assume. So some pastors don't want to go to heaven. They feel that their heaven is here. So if you assume your pastor wants to go to heaven, you might go to hell with him, because hell is where he has determined to go, right? So if you want to go to heaven, you have to make up your mind as to the heaven you want to go to and pursue it, irrespective of your pastor, irrespective of your friend, irrespective of your church members, irrespective of your friends, irrespective of your colleague, right? The journey of life is first a lonely journey. It's first a lonely journey. It's an internal individual journey, the internal individual decision, because there are disciplines, there are curtailings, there are sacrifices to be made if you want to make it. And not everyone is willing or ready to make that sacrifice. Don't assume. Ask questions when you are in doubt, right? Because not everyone around you has the same focus, has the same vision as you are. As you are holding yourself back, some people are wondering why you are holding yourself back, because they have no vision that you have. For some people, they are only wanting to get off the bus at the next bus stop, but you know how far you want to go in life. So don't miss that vision. Don't miss that vision. Don't miss that vision, right? The road to heaven, the way to heaven is not a wide road. It is a narrow road. It is a narrow road. You cannot afford to throw caution to the wind, right? You will not get it. In the workplace, you'll be disappointed. People will go after you. People will disappoint you, right? You need to hold yourself. Yes, it's good to love people. It's good to trust people, but never throw caution to the wind, right? If you have a vision of what you want to get, keep that vision in front of you. Ask questions. What does it take to get there? What are the things I need to do? What are the things I need not to do, right? For one, you have to be intentional. For one, you have to be proactive. For one, you have to keep that vision in front of you. For one, you have to hold yourself together. You cannot allow your emotions to run riot on you. Today, we call that emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is simply maturity, 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 being in control, being on top of your emotions. Don't not allowing your emotions to control you.